Okay. We're going to use the phrase, the little one, that is who here is here now speaking.
The little one
That
in your
will
heart.
be explained later, because there's a permission needed to even be around your own spiritual space, or anyone else's that you are involved with. So there's a entry we are going through with permission from your spiritual guides and the other beings that are associated with you and others in this room, in this
Building?
condition, building. For our frequency can interfere, and we just need to assure ones that there's safety involved. We can have an effect that some are not ready for. Now, this...
Is that why that boy went home?
This process that you're all in will be considered later as the great healing process. You're all going through a healing, everyone on your planet now, in consciousness. You are beginning to be bathed in the holy light. Yet there are distinctions that need to be understood, and those distinctions are within the separateness of yourself and yourselves. And you come upon this moment with you come upon this moment with the introduction to your true self. Now, that can sound confusing, yet this true self is the one that, in the utilization of your words, is alive forever. Everywhere, every when, all times, all space. You're going through what we will term time locks. For time is a direction, and timing is what creates your realities. You are focused with time, clocks, your sun, your moon, stars. Movement is time. Time is the result of the confusion of space from the perspective of your spiritual self. By that I mean, your divine process, the true you, is not concerned of time at all. It's concerned with the moments of experience for the pleasure of that unit of knowing, which you term as time. I had a good time here, I had a great time there. It is the moment of the ahas that you're always receiving. It's called privileged extent. You extend yourself into realities, and you're allowed that understanding. Difficulty is coming back to the portion that extended. You see, and you're in that confusion now. That the coming back part. What is what is occurring now in consciousness is this: everyone has this desire to be correct or right in their own moments. And you're having these conflicts now for that reason. The process is notification through the water. You're finding out that your thoughts, literally, are poisoning the waters. You have your fishes dying, your whales, your dolphins washing up, creatures falling out of the sky. The thoughts are poisonous in the frequency understandings, but you beings, the humans, not aware of it. You have scientific evidence of wordings over water changing crystalline structure, yet the major impact of that is not truly understood. If you had beings that are in islands understand water more than those in your continents, you talk to the water and it changes for you, and then there's a communication between your great oceans and the moon that helps relax the emotional forces that you're going to receive, you see, because you sent your thoughts to the sun, they go to the moon, and you are feeling it. Yet you need to talk to the mother of creation, which is your ocean. There's a being there, and that rules the sea, and all creatures within it. And you all came from the sea, whether you know that or not. And the sea is your home in a manner. And the memory of it is the fluid condition in your body, the emotional understanding. You were given the privilege of walking and extending yourself so you would have direct communication with the sun, the moon, and the stars. You yourself already know you communicate to the sun. You've had the experiences of it. Now the beings that are here to assist are teachers. And a good teacher teaches so the student becomes better than the teacher. For the student is recognized by the teacher as having a greater capacity than the teacher to receive more information, take what the information he's got and extend it further. So then they too become a teacher, which will return to teach the teacher. That's the cycle you beings are in. It is called, your word's called evolution. You evolve and learn, evolve and learn, evolve and learn, evolve and learn. And it is a return thing. Yet you're going to a point now where you're going beyond the return. That is whether you are desirous of returning, and for what purpose, and whether or not you desire to have experiences elsewhere. My suggestion right now to go through this phase is always desire to return to this place right now. You're going through the completion of what is termed in your worlds the last of the Hopi prophecies. There is a cleansing going on, yet not in the condition that everyone will take that word cleansing. It is the water in your own vehicle that you are going to cleanse by the thought of yourself and understanding what is termed the preciousness of the diamond light that you are in there, which is called the little one. You're going to understand your birth at every moment, yet without having to go through the restrictions of childhood understanding. You're going to understand what birth is. You're going to understand the significance of your bones. You're going to understand the significance of breath beyond the necessity for it. You're going to understand how it affects the medulla oblongata back here in your greatness. Health will not be an issue. If it is an issue, then the corrections have to occur within the thought of yourself and the permissions, what we call the permissions of entry. Each being has 7 chakras. There is a distinct personality in each chakra. We're talking of the 7 in the physical body. Each distinct personality must unify itself and merge and combine with each other one for the totality of the divine understanding of yourself. So you're educating the beings within the chakras, and the chakra being, there's a commander that rules in each chakra. You have those ancient Tibetan symbols that will identify who the commander is. That is the ruler of that territory, we'll say. And then you have the other rulers combining in a council, which is you. But you haven't determined that yet. The way to do that is to align your chakras, center your being. Align your chakras and allow the portion of you that's thinking about this to back up behind your body, literally, and look forward. And you'll see the strings from the chakras that go to the spine. And you will see how you push through to that frequency. And you'll also see how you get lost as you come forth through the flesh, because you're coming through the fluid portion of yourself, which is a reaction to the thoughts that you've had, which is what is termed, what you will eventually find out is termed the baptism of water. Water is your ruler here in the physical flesh as a constant unit of reminder. Your air is an activation with breath, with the fire of thought. And it activates the water, boils the water, cools the water, heats the water, warms the water. And it's the pleasure of the thinking you're going to find out that's important. Not the pleasure of the thought. That's past tense. Pleasure of the thinking. And then you find out what your true seed thought is or was, and you reflect on it, you look at it, you will see it, all of its manifestation in that one thought moment, the seed thought, which created everything you have, always will, always has. You need to go back to when you had the seed thought of what you want to do, being, come, and experiencing this understanding. This is the process that's going on now. Everyone's going back to the seed thought, the original seed thought, where you're holding and looking at it, willing and waiting to experience the expression and manifestation of that thought manifested. The seed thought, the original one, of you, where you thought, well, actually you were thinking and you had the thought. This is the cleansing coming, because the reality is it was your thoughts, your thought. Let me express it a different way. Your thinking allowed the dropping within the water system of thought which you saw reflected upon. And they're analyzing it within the system of the self. This is all portions of creation. And you proceeded. You're experiencing that seed thought now. That seed thought contains all your lifetimes. All your lifetimes. So that's why we're taking you back now to thinking. Think. Don't worry about the seed thought now. You're creating another one. Watch the manifestation. And what will happen is within the light of yourself, there'll be a seed that comes down for the recognition by the little one within the heart chakra, within actually the physical heart, at the juncture there. It'll recognize the tree, the sprouting of the tree. You beings mystically call it the tree of life. That's you. And your roots go to the center, and your leaves climb to the heights. They are. And the birds come and nest in your tree. That's what you're doing. Yet you have this interference with what you beings call the thoughts and movements of others. That's why it's necessary now to get back to your original thinking. To think before the thought, the realization that you thinking something. You beings in your mystical world call it an awareness. Yet it is beyond awareness. It's the knowledge of the unitized self being independent and purposeful, focused intent from what you term the Creator, the Creator-S, the feminine understanding, the original power given to man is the force of the ocean. And if you've ever been underwater in high seas, you will know the force of the ocean. That is the ability all humans have access to. Yet you don't understand that your thoughts are affecting it, just as they affect the sun. Your oceans are trying to calm it. There is an immediate reaction, though delayed in your reality, between thinking, water, and result. We're going to call it the walking ones. The walking ones. That includes your four-leggeds, the humans. You're walking now in a different understanding. Humans are going to start seeing these spiritual forces enter animals so the animals can walk. You're going to start to see the spiritual forces enter the humans so the humans can walk. Because you think you're walking. It's not you. Another part of you is walking you. You think you're breathing. It's not you. Another part of you is breathing for you and breathing you. You are the expressions of, how you say, we'll say the purposeful love of all things. Yet the consciousness of the human condition is in denial of that. But you're going to realize you're not in denial of it. You just have a different perspective rather than agreement with all others. The movement that's occurring now on all of your planet is coming to the understanding now of not personalities, but the infusion of what you beings term the Holy Spirit. For that's what produces your blood for you. So you have oxygenation through your moving vehicle. That introduction is going on with everyone, but they don't know how to make the connection. It's the plastic, sinewy, filmy substance beyond, not fluidic quite, but it's what wraps around your bones and caresses the bones so the bones produce the blood in the marrow. There's a constant communication going on there. Now, every religion has its prayers. The best prayer is to remember the Father and understand the Mother, which is the ocean, and reflect in your spine. And that's why you see with meditations you keep the spine erect, because the spine vibrates to the tune of what we were going to say is the divine virgin that exists in everyone. Your purity that's beyond all purity. Everyone has it there, and it's in the middle of your spinal column. It's an invisible force that moves up the hollow of the vertebrae. When you connect with that, you feel it in your arms, you feel it in your legs, you feel that you are becoming different, but you're becoming more of who you are connected to. which is what you're feeling now. This is how you do it. And then when you breathe, don't solely focus in the mouth, breath, nostrils here. You let the heart chakra breathe, and it'll expand this way. You beings think it's your lungs, but the heart chakra now is breathing the space that was created from the frequency that's going down the middle of your spine. And then there's a recognition of more that you are, not the other beings. There becomes an understanding now that I am the ocean of all worlds, which is what you are. And that's the learning process. That's why you have microbes and all of these things in your system, just like the great oceans has all these creatures in her. But you're learning this. You're learning the human vessel will eventually understand the dignity of itself. And I'm not talking about social manners either. When you have accustomed to the dignity of yourself, the social manners will always be correct. And this is what is occurring now in the we're going to say in the pretense of the human condition. Because you are everywhere already. You're every when. Now you're learning what condensation of water is between the heat and the cold. The cold is in the bones. The heat is in the flesh. You're understanding condensation, that you are literally becoming one with the Creator in the creation of water within yourself. Condensation between the hot and the cold. You're learning that. And as you learn that, you'll understand how the body can move through systems gently, because you have to respect the space that others are in. And if they think there's a wall there, then the majority will agree there's a wall there. You don't distort their reality by passing through walls. You agree with their concept of a wall being there, so their system of space can be relevant to their growth in the perceptions of themselves and others. Because in your idea here,